The BDO was a major darts organisation that hosted the first World Championship back in 1978 and had a monopoly over the professional scene until the split in darts, which saw the formation of a rival tour, the PDC, which grew over the years to become the huge force that it is today. Whilst it's debatable about when the PDC overtook the BDO as the dominant organisation, it was back in 2002 that the prize fund for its World Championship overtook that of the BDO's. With the future as we knew it of the organisation in limbo in the summer of 2018, Des Jacklin was elected as the new chairman, beating Roger Shaner, the manager of Dave Chisnall, by 6 votes. Jacklin had previously served as the organisation's player marshal and is the husband of women's player Paula Jacklin. The BDO's financial year came to an end in May 2019 with a loss of £468,452 in just 12 months, and in August things got even worse as the BDO controversially announced that their World Championship was moving away from its spiritual home, the Lakeside, to a small venue at the O2 Arena in London, a move that was met with much hate as the BDO Worlds had been held in the iconic Lakeside venue every year since 1986. That negative news was followed by a more positive announcement, with it being announced that the prize fund of the women's event would be doubled, something which would turn out to be far from true. In the time ahead of the O2 event, the World Masters was held, one of the most historic tournaments in the sport, but the 2019 edition arguably directly led to the downfall of the BDO. There were so many problems that there's a long list on Wikipedia. The prize money was not announced in advance, and the seeding format was changed shortly before it began, leading several top players to boycott. Some players arrived without knowing they had to register, and Jacklin admitted that there'd been fake names in the original draw in case more players showed up. This caused a controversial redraw in which there was still the name of a player who was not at the event. Also, there was a shortage of scorers with volunteers needed, and some players were asked to sign a contract stating that they wouldn't play in the PDC World Championship or its qualifiers, otherwise they would have to pay back any prize money. All those problems led the World Darts Federation to stop recognising the BDO operated tournaments, meaning that they were demoted to associate members and were no longer officially the governing body of darts in Britain. Just 5 days ahead of the first World Championship at the O2, Jacklin sent a letter to the players informing them that the prize fund would have to be reduced somewhat as they'd been unable to find a sponsor as the organisation was considered toxic and because just 15% of the available tickets had been sold. The TV revenue was also decimated due to high costs. The total men's prize fund fell to £127,000 from £300,000, whilst the women's fell to £25,600 from £29,000. That cut led Fallon Sherrick to withdraw from the event just days before, which was a big blow as it came just a few weeks after her famous Ali Pali run. A GoFundMe was even set up to boost the women's prize fund following the cut. The event went ahead with poor crowd numbers, with Welshman Wayne Warren winning the men's event and becoming the sport's oldest world champion, and Japan's Mikuri Suzuki winning the women's event for the second year in a row. Even in the days following the event, the players were still not aware of the exact prize fund, with Warren admitting they are hurt. Things got even worse as the 28-day deadline for the players to receive their prize money was passed without them being paid. The money did eventually come through 2 days late, but being paid didn't take the players' anger away, with Warren admitting he was gutted when he heard the winner's prize, the BDO's lowest since 1989. The situation at the BDO then worsened, with Jacklin insisting that the Torremolinos Darts Festival would go ahead in March 2020 despite the area being close to the COVID-19 lockdowns. He told all players and officials to attend, but then, in the venue shortly before the tournament was due to begin, he announced it was cancelled due to Spanish government policy. 2 days later, it was announced in a statement that Jacklin had resigned from his position with immediate effect. But then, just a month later, in a shocking development, it was announced that Jacklin had been voted back in as the chairman again. Then, just a few weeks later, the BDO's commercial arm filed for liquidation, which was completed shortly after. Around this time, Warren was asked about giving his trophy back, to which he replied that it wouldn't be going anywhere until he got what he was owed, as he felt hard done by the prize fund, understandably. Jacqueline responded to this in an angry statement, saying that all players had seen the prize fund email and been spoken to before. John O'Shea, the final BDO World Masters champion, also initially refused to give back his trophy, leading Jacqueline to give him a deadline, otherwise he said he would file legal action. Warren doubled down on his intention to keep the trophy in the national press, saying that it was his compensation. But around a month after that story was published, something truly shocking came out, with Des posting on Facebook confirming that Warren's trophy had been seized by the South Wales police and that he'd made the 9-hour round trip to collect it. He said that it was unlawful for anyone to hold on to one of the BDO trophies and that the BDO was very much alive. This act was understandably panned by almost all darts fans and players, and Jacqueline was even criticised for breaking coronavirus lockdown rules at the time to go and collect it. A GoFundMe page was set up to buy Wayne a replica trophy, which he eventually received and looked delighted with. Warren eventually called Des and Paula pigs in an interview. In April 2022, it was confirmed that Des had got the Women's World Championship trophy back from Mikuri Suzuki just hours before her WF World Championship opener. People initially believed that the police were involved, but it was confirmed by both the WF and Des that there'd been an agreement with Mikuri's management team for a handover of the trophy with no police required. In late 2022, John O'Shea confirmed that he'd given his trophy back after increased legal action was taken against him. Des had got the BDO's 3 biggest trophies back, but the organisation was dead by this point, so where did they go? Well, very sadly, these pieces of darting history were sold to the highest bidder in a liquidation auction. The Men's World Championship trophy, last won by Warren, sold for over £20,000, which after tax was more than he received for winning it. One positive is that 10-time world champion Trina Gulliver was given the women's trophy after it was gifted to her by company LP Metal Detecting. The death of the BDO, which was likely sped up by mismanagement, was very sad for all darts fans to see. Let me know what you think about the death of the BDO in the comment section down below, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't ever miss a brand new video. Also, leave a like if you found this video informative.